find the range of y equals to logarithm of cos of fractional part of x. Okay. Logarithm of cos of fractional part of x. So here we have total three functions. So from inside, if we observe, fractional part of a function resides in cos and cos resides in logarithmic function. So as per the basics, first we need to find the range of fractional part of a function, which is a standard. So we can write fractional part of x belongs to closed interval 0 comma open interval 1. Now it resides in cosine function. Cos x is neither increasing nor decreasing function. Okay. So now how to handle neither increasing nor decreasing means outside function graph we will draw first. For this outside function is cos. So we will draw the graph of cos. So one part I am taking here. See. So this part we know that it is from minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. So pi by 2 means we know that is 1.57. And here this is belongs to 0 to 1. If that is belongs to 0 to 1 means here 0 and 1 will be slightly here somewhere. So this is your 1. Okay. Now we need to dark this portion. Okay. Now in between 0 and 1. In between 0 and 1 if you observe carefully, so here in between 0 and 1 cos is a decreasing function only. We don't want the complete structure. Overall structure is neither increasing nor decreasing only. But when you observe in between these two, it is decreasing function. That means we can write cos fractional part of x belongs to, we need to reverse that one. So if we reverse that one means we will get cos 1 comma cos 0. So now cos 1 we don't know the value. So we will keep that one as it is, cos 1, and cos 0 is 1. So this is the situation of what? Cos of fractional part of x. Okay. Now we will come back to the outer part. So basic function is y equals to log x. So base not mentioned means base will be considered as e. So e base is always more than 1. So then logarithmic function is increasing function. So we know the graph of log, it appears like that. So it is increasing function. So therefore logarithm of cos of fractional part of x belongs to, so we can apply straight away, that is log cos 1 comma log 1, that is the part. So this is belongs to, so log cos 1 we can write as it is, but log 1 is equals to 0. So this is your range. Sin inverse of x square by x square plus 1, to find the range of this function, first find the range of inside function. This will take it as some g of x. To find the range of this function, so we can cross multiply one technique or one more technique I told, I will apply that one, add 1 and subtract 1. So that means you will get 1 minus 1 by x square plus 1. So 1 minus 1 by x square plus 1 means values will be lesser than 1 only. So that means this g of x belongs to 0 comma 1, closed interval 0 comma 1. That is the possibility. 1 is not included in this bracket. So this is the range. Okay. So now for this basic function, if you observe, basic function is y equals to sin inverse x, and sin inverse x we know that this is the graph of sin inverse x structure, which is an increasing function. When it is an increasing function, we can apply the interval as it is. Therefore sin inverse of x square by x square plus 1 belongs to, so apply sin inverse to every part. So here we will get sin inverse 0 comma sin inverse 1. So that belongs to, sin inverse 0 is 0 and sin inverse 1 is pi by 2, but pi by 2 is not included. So finally range of this particular question equals to closed interval 0 to open interval pi by 2. First we know that sin x always lies in between minus 1 and plus 1. That implies sin square x lies in between 0 and 1. 16 sin square x lies in between 0 and 16. That is all. And after that 1 is added there. So that is 16 sin square x plus 1 lies in between 1 and 17. This is the first part we are breaking this bracket. 16 sin square x plus 1 lies in between the values 1 and 17. Now for this they are applying logarithm to the base 2. Logarithm of, or else instead of writing inequalities means you can write your old technique, that is 16 sin square x plus 1 belongs to 1 comma 17. So easy way of writing. Next we are applying logarithm for this one. Logarithm of 16 sin square x plus 1 to the base 2. When base is more than 1, log is increasing function. So it is, I am writing here, it is increasing function. That means these values stays as it is. That is log 1 to the base 2 and log 17 to the base 2. This is one part. Now log 1 means 0, that I will write here. See, logarithm of 16 sin square x plus 1 to the base 2 belongs to log 1 is 0, and this is not a standard value, so we will keep it as it is, log 17 to the base 2. Now for this minus is multiplied. So if you multiply by the minus, here I am writing, see, minus logarithm of base 2 16 sin square x plus 1 belongs to, if you multiply by minus, then what happens here? Minus 0 means it won't give any sense. Then we will get minus logarithm of 17 to the base 2. So here I will write this one, see, minus logarithm of 17 to the base 2 to the 0. So these are the values we will get. And next for this what they are doing, adding 2. So now we will add 2 here, 2 minus, so 2 minus logarithm of 16 sin square x plus 1 to the base 2. So if we add 2 here, we will get 2 minus logarithm of 17 to the base 2 to 2 we are adding, so means 0 plus 2 is 2. So this is the part what we will get here. So that means now we broke the total part. See, now total this bracket we got. Now for this bracket now we are applying this one. So logarithm of root 2. Logarithm of 2 minus logarithm of 16 sin square x plus 1 to the base 2, and here what we got, root 2. Now we need to see the inside situation. Okay. Now root 2 means, see, root 2 means how much the value? 1.414. That means base is more only. So base is more means the function is increasing here. So this function is increasing. So when this function is increasing, we need to apply logarithm to this one as it is. Now students listen carefully. So when it is increasing function, for this total we are applying logarithm, means for this bracket also we can apply logarithm. While applying logarithm, we will check the values over there. And here if you observe, 2 minus log 17 to the base 2 and next value is 2. Here we can apply log directly, we will get log 2 only. But here we need to check. 2 minus log 17 to the base 2. Log 17 to the base 2. Log 17 to the base 2, exact value we can't tell without using logarithmic tables, but we can analyze, see, 2 minus log 17 to the base 2 we want actually. We know that log 16 to the base 2 is how much? See, log 16 to the base 2 can be written as log 2 to the power of 4 to the base 2. That is nothing but 4 by using logarithmic properties. When log 16 to the base 2 is 4 means log 17 to the base 2 slightly more than 4. When slightly more than 4, so 2 minus slightly more than 4 means what will get? A negative value. For that negative value we need to apply logarithm. Logarithm of negative is not allowed. logarithm of which values are allowed? Only positive values. That means here the allowability what we can take is, we can take log 0 to log 2. Here. Huh?
Zero should be excluded.
Yes, it will.
Positive values.
Yes, it is excluded only. Okay. So now we'll write belongs to log 0 means we'll write infinity and log 2 will keep as it is. So this is your final range of the total question. Infinity comma log 2. So this, students, we know that log 0 is always minus infinity, sorry. If you observe the graph of logarithmic function, so this is the graph of logarithmic function. When x is approaching 0, y value is approaching minus infinity. That's why log 0 can be written as minus infinity and log 2 to the base root 2. Log 2 to the base root 2, if you want, you can simplify. This is equals to, you can write minus infinity to 2 can be written as 2 to the power of 1 by 2. 2 to the power of 1 by 2 means that will come here. So that means the answer is what? 2 here. The simplification, please check. Logarithm of 2, root 2 is 2 to the power of 1 by 2. By using the property, we will get here 2 into log 2 to the base 2. Log 2 to the base 2 is 1. So this is correct.